Welcome everyone to another video log. This week is another pickup, but it's really not going to be about the pickups because there really isn't any. The reason I ended up having that happen is, number one, flea markets are kind of dying down right now. So there isn't as many flea markets or yard sales going on, mainly the outdoor ones. The indoor ones still alive and kicking, but indoor ones suck. They just do. Like, unless it's a specific indoor one for like a one day only, but the ones that are centered around people that go every single week and just have like their own table, like permanently there all the time. Those get on my nerves, and they're usually just people selling the same stuff every week for ridiculous amounts of money. And the other reason being, I had my internal hard drive of my computer completely crapped out on me on Thursday night when I got home from work. And so because of that, I had to go out on Friday and buy a new hard drive. And I spent over $100 on that because I needed to get it that day. Because I cannot really go, especially on my day, like if I was working, it's different, but of course it's my day off, Friday, and I need my computer, so I had to go out and buy the new hard drive, so I did. That cost me over $100, so that kind of killed any extra cash I had for flea marketing that would have happened on this weekend. So anyway, for only real thing for pickups is I did grab one PS3 game, and that is Tornado Outbreak, so I'll show that here. And Tornado Outbreak, I played it on Xbox 360 and played through the whole game, so I'll probably give this a play at some point. Not like it's an amazingly easy achievement or trophy game, it's just actually a relatively fun game to play. You play as a tornado, destroying as many of the houses and buildings, and it's kind of like a Katamari style game that you're building up as you destroy more and more stuff, and you get power-ups and stuff like that. So it's similar to that. That's kind of the only real game I can really compare it to. But it wasn't a terrible game. I ended up sitting there and beating it in like one sitting when I rented it years ago for 360. So now I picked up the PS3 version of the game. However, the reason why this video is completely going to be different, and I'm even really doing a vlog, because that, one pickup really isn't anything, but there was one other pickup. And I mentioned that I was bidding on this last week, but I didn't think I was going to end up winning it, but I did end up winning it, and it arrived actually today. So, you may have noticed last week, we showed off, and we picked up some Pico games last week. So now we actually have the Sega Pico. Now, for those who don't know, the Sega Pico was released in 1994, and it received a very, of course, as regular gamers, you probably never even played it or heard of it, because it was mainly used as an educational gaming system, one of the first educational specific gaming system. Nowadays, you have the Leapsters and all that kind of stuff, and there are a lot of them, and there's tons of stuff available for those things. And unfortunately, when games are available at yard sales or flea market, they write video games, you get there and it's Leapster games. And they end up wanting a lot of money for it, because unfortunately Leapster games are pretty expensive for what they are. But regardless, this was Sega's attempt at an educational system, and they actually received a North American release. And they actually released 22 games in North America. And I actually do plan on, kind of like the Virtual Boy, how it has so few games, you kind of like, as a collector, you kind of want to complete the collection of it. Well, my goal is to completely... That box is already open.
I know,
oh, okay.
I was just fighting
anyway, I showed off that box back there is the ones that we got last week. I showed already in the video. But I got 2 games with this one, or I was supposed to get 2 games. I think I only got 1.
Yeah, you did.
It was supposed to come with 2. I'm not very happy with the shipping and all for this, and I'll get that in a second. But anyway, the Sega Pico didn't, of course, do well here, and they only released 22 games for it. So, getting those 22 games, there's only 1 or 2 of them that garner a little bit of money, and those are the ones you actually kind of want because they're, like, actually related to the video games. Mainly being, there's a Tails game, I think there's a Sonic game, and there's an Echo the Dolphin Jr. game. That's also available for the Sega Pico.
Which is, if it's like anything like the Sega...
Have you ever played Echo Jr. is a real game. Have you ever played it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Echo Jr. has nothing like Echo the Dolphin. It's an extremely easy linear game.
Oh.
You just said you played it, and you're... Echo Jr. There's Echo the Dolphin,
Echo 2 Time,
yeah.
And Echo Jr. No, I didn't play Echo Jr.
See, that's what it... Anyway. Echo Jr. is available, or at least a version of it is available on the Pico. I guess it's some really easier version than even the console release for Echo Jr., which I don't know if it got a Genesis release, but it was definitely on Game Gear and all. And anyway, they only released 22 games here. However, in Japan, it was a big success. They ended up making the Pico up until like the early 2000s, making models of the Pico and releasing games for it, having a library of like 290 games or somewhere around there, including tons of animes that we know in North America received either a game or multiple games for the Pico, and those are the ones that are actually, you know, valuable and kind of interesting that I want to pick up some of them, including Sailor Moon games, and Magic Knight Rayearth even got a game for it. There's actually a good website that has all the Sega Pico games listed, as well as pictures for the boxes and all that. And I was using that actually to catalog all my regular Pico games, because I have, what, 6 so far? 6 Pico games out of the 22 that are currently available. So anyway, this is actually from, you may know him, this was linked to me from Lash, apparently Handsome Tom, who you probably know used to be on Screw Attack, then did stuff with another website, and that guy with the glasses, he's an affiliate of that. Anyway, I guess his group or whatever, they were selling a whole bunch of their equipment off. Lash sent it to me because, like, he was looking at the equipment that was available to buy on eBay, which all was, like, ridiculous amounts of money they really wanted for the equipment. He's into that, so he knew what they were worth and said it really wasn't worth it. However, he linked it to me, of course, being a gamer, and there was a couple game-related things, and the only thing of real interest to me that was in a price range I could have afforded was the Sega Pico. So I bid on it, and after, it was like, you know, it was a long auction it took. I thought I lost it last week, but then I checked and I'm still like winning it because it still had days left on it, because I bid on it as soon as it went up. So anyway, I ended up winning the Sega Pico. What the thing is, though, they charged me $8 shipping, which is understandable for such a big piece. However, they tried to ship it media mail, or charge the media mail pricing. And because of that, it ended up not being qualified for media mail, and the post office repackaged it, and I don't know what, it was supposed to come with everything but the power cord for it, at least from what I read. I will have to reread it. And it was supposed to come with 2 games. It came only with the 1 game and no AV no AV cord. I knew it wasn't coming to power cord, but it was okay because it took a Genesis one. It ends up taking a Genesis Model 2 power cord. But anyway, and I'm sure it wasn't in amazing shape to begin with, but I don't know if that alternate shipping caused any more unnecessary damage to the Pico itself. Like, it is scratched up and beat up a little bit, and maybe at some point down the road I will buy another one. But it's a Sega Pico. It was a joke bid that I thought I wasn't even going to win. But anyway, I have the Sega Pico. For those of you who have never played it, I wanted to show you. I'm sure there's a much better video online, so I'm sure there's other ways to really look up stuff. But anyway, here is your Sega Pico. You have down here is your touchscreen. This whole screen down here is a touchscreen. One of the first touchscreens available. And you use your stylus or giant Pico pen here in order to touch the screen inappropriately or appropriately, depending upon how you are. And you also have directional buttons down here, as well as a big action button. And already from playing it, I'm like holding the system, and you don't use the pen other than to select, at least in the game that I messed with so far, which is the Lion King game. And I already had a copy of it, but this is the one that came with it. It was also supposed to come with Richard Scarry's Loli's Busiest Day or whatever, which I also already got from the other set, so I'm not really like heartbroken over it, but it was supposed to come with 2 games. Anyway, so you use mainly the buttons, the directional pads down here, and then the action button to do most of your stuff. What I love about the Pico, and I you know, just to me, and I talked a little bit about stuff when I talked about the Wonder Book back at E3 and why I thought it's a cool idea, is I end up liking these educational children's toys and stuff like that if they're innovative and they're a cool way of doing things. And back then, I don't know how the technology was. You gotta remember, this is '94. You put the cartridge in, and I will remove the cartridge, or at least attempt to remove the cartridge. I don't know how. Is there a safe way to remove the cartridge? Or is it, oh, there it is. Okay, cool. There's a flip switch right here. Anyway, here's the actual cartridge, and I showed these off before. You actually put them in. There's a cartridge slot right here, this yellow cartridge slot right here. And then once you put it in here and get the game all set, when you turn on the game, it defaults, as long as you have the book closed, it defaults to the main menu, like the startup screen. And then when you turn the page, instead of pressing start to go on, you turn the page and it takes you to the next thing, which is a representation of like the next game. It's like a mini game collection. I don't know if they're all like this. This is just from what I've experienced with this one. And then if you want to play a different one, you turn the page again, and it goes instantly to the next page on the main screen, and you can play the next game if you want to. And the games aren't really great or anything like that. And what I will show something here, and what I want to do, and also a first play kind of thing with this. However, I need to warn you ahead of time, as I'm going to have to set this up. Unfortunately, I want to have my webcam available with the footage of the game, because I wanted to see what I was doing with the thing as well as the thing. But unfortunately, I have to use a crappy capture device in order to use composites, the old composite games like my N64 and earlier. Unfortunately, the Blackmagic Intensity Pro that I have is not compatible with composite games, like, at all. You can, like, not get them to work. So you really need to use either component things for it, or if you need an alternative capture device if you want to capture, like, NES, Super Nintendo, that kind of thing. And so anything that we did with Mario parties back in the first play of the We Play Mario parties 1, 2, and 3, they were all done through this capture device that I'm going to be using here. However, with XSplit, when I try to open both simultaneously, the webcam and the capture device just goes black screen. No matter what, it just goes black screen, and I even have to close and reopen the capture device to get it to reappear the image. The other problem is, and I already tested to make sure the 64 is working and everything like that, is that it's black and white. On my screen, it's color. But what you're going to see, the footage-wise, is black and white. So I highly apologize for that. I don't know what it is. I tested, tried to change the wires. It's fine on my TV. And I plugged it directly into the capture device. Still got the issue. Like I said, I tested my N64 real quick with it. That's in color on my computer. So it's just something specifically about the Pico it doesn't like. So, at least for now, I can only get black and white footage of the Sega Pico. If someone sees this and knows what the hell the problem is, which I doubt, please inform me, because I would love to. So anyway, you turn it on by turning it on here, and it's going to come up on my screen here, and you'll start hearing the music, I guess, probably in a second. And, it's at the main menu now. There you go. I have no idea how loud this is going to be as far as everything with the sound of the game, but I wanted to make sure you hear at least some of the sound, because the sound effects are actually pretty well done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, as I do this camera thing, and see if we, of course it's not going to work. Can you turn off the light? Sorry.
I should move it closer for you.
I was trying to, well, maybe move it closer. But of course the reflection with the camera is just like not gonna work. It's just gonna be a bright blur. It's just gonna be a bright blur.
I can sort of see Simba and Nala there.
You're gonna see footage of the game in a second, but I was trying to show that there was color. Anyway. That was the only, I don't have a real, I don't like recording TV with a camera.
Yeah, it always looks terrible.
Anyway, you can turn the light back on. So anyway, we're going to switch over now to the footage of the game. You're still going to hear me talk and everything, but this is what's going to happen, so there you go. There's the actual startup screen for Lion King Adventures at Pride Rock. So here we go. I'm going to try to set this up in a way on my lap, so I can actually play this in some way, shape, or form as I just, like, eject the cart. Okay,
and crash the system.
Of course I did. Anyway, you can see up the actual startup screen and all now. Like I said, unfortunately, this thing, like I said, I'm getting the black and white footage and everything like that. Hopefully the sound's coming okay, so at least you can hear some of the sound effects. So basically, you have the main menu and everything, and you actually can control your the paw at the front. When you press it in, it then goes to a credit screen. nothing exciting there, and I don't know if I can skip it until I turn the page. So we're just gonna turn the page here. No, apparently...
The credits!
Apparently, with the credits at least, it's causing it to,
Potty Killbanks.
Ay, ay, ay.
Only one tester.
I apologize for showing the credits of this game.
Oh,
Okay, there we go. So anyway, now we turn the page. Yep. And now we're at the next page, which is basically the representation on the storybook is, or the book is exactly what you're seeing here. It's just, of course, not animated. And, anyway, so I then can move this and press it in to play one of the games. I don't know if it's 2 separate games here or not. That is something I haven't tested. Oh, it is 2 separate games. So it must be.
Zazu game.
So we play as Zazu here. I've only tested 2 games with this so far. So now we're playing as Zazu, and I ran into something and he fell. There's a meerkat. It's not. It's just
Zebra, deer. Okay, I guess he's flying through the...
As you can see, the graphics are about Sega Genesis graphics here. I don't think any more advanced than what you would expect from Genesis.
They seem to dip between Master System and Genesis.
I'm not gonna sit here and play like everything like all the way through because I was playing the one for like 8 screens and like it never ended.
It just kept going.
So I guess they probably do have an end, I would hope.
This is Zazu actually leaving Africa like he threatens to in the movie.
I think this is the very beginning of every creature looking at Pride Rock.
Probably.
For the Simba unveiling. At least that's my guess, but I could be wrong. Touch the animals.
They all seem to enjoy Zazu touching them.
Because, of course, these are educational games, you're not going to have deaths. It's not going to be anything too difficult for you to do. And, of course, only a directional pad and a big action button. You're not going to really have too complicated... Shut up. I knew that was... I knew... Screw Little Bird! Reference to Drink It Through,
Had a few.
Had a few.
I like
whatever.
Drink It Through, though.
Drink It Through was good, too. That was the alternative name. That's the European release.
That's the European release, yeah.
Anyway, had a few of Big Bird. Oh, I ran to that rock. So anyway. I'm gonna try to... Is there a way to... I'm gonna turn the page here. And then come back. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm gonna choose the bottom one here, which should be the... No, it's a different game altogether.
Memory game.
What? What? Real thrilling, I know. Okay, we can move on to this. So we'll move on to the next scene.
I like how the book showed like Scar and stuff, but yet.
The next screen also has 3 things selectable here.
Ah, here we go.
So this is one of the games I actually did mess with. It's just a simple maze game where you control the beetle and have to get him from start to finish to the exit. Pretty simple gameplay here, nothing too amazing. I'll do like one more of these, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, these aren't award-winning mazes by any means. In the universe.
Oh, it actually like did something different for once after I beat that third maze.
Holy crap!
And now I skipped it already, so now I don't know what it was. Oh, what the hell? Oh, it's the alphabet, okay. I was like, am I supposed to spell a word, or...?
It reveals an ink blot.
The butterfly effect.
Must be.
Really?
It's a different picture every time.
Yeah, okay. But like, okay.
Oh, your favorite!
Okay, that's just not happening. We're moving on. Okay.
Yeah, Cornshaq hates sliding puzzle, just for the record.
Okay, now this is one I messed with as well. And this is actually like a simple platformer. You go from right to left, or left to right, duh. That's the wrong directions.
Yeah.
I'm doing good, and this is an educational game. I'm supposed to know what I'm doing. Anyway, you can't get killed by anything, but you can get caught in infinite loops by rocks and logs. Your goal each time is to make it to the end of the level, and then you warp to the next level. Now,
Seemingly never-ending journey to who knows where.
we did like 8 or 9 screens of this, and it didn't seem to change up any. Also, doing this with a pen in my hand and also one-handed is a pain. I don't know how. Also, hit detection on those logs isn't necessarily good.
Why would you get a tray table for you to set it on?
No, because I'm not going to be playing it too long. I just want to show this game pretty much.
Let's show one more game.
What game?
I don't know, pick one.
You pick one.
Okay.
Pick the one you want to see, and we'll put that one in next, since I show more than one game. And if you're interested in seeing the others, we can do that.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to, like, these are, like I said, these aren't amazing titles, and I don't have, like, the Sonic or anything like that.
No, unfortunately.
They did not come in the pack of games. Just completing this level. Like I said, I played like 8 levels of this and nothing happened.
Yeah.
You know, the one time I say that, like, that was the water thing. We got there
Oh,
before. This one.
Bug hunt. Or actually, no, this is the bug catching thing from the Sega
Okay.
console games. If you just don't see Timon. Bugs can apparently hit the ground without you dying.
Pretty simple concept of a game. Yeah, it was Timon and Pumbaa's like jungle games or something.
Yeah.
And they also had in the actual Lion King game, it was a mini game.
Mini games, yeah, that's what I was.
And no, there's actually a game where this is also in like a separate
Oh, wow.
Timon and Pumbaa game. Okay.
Apparently, this software is a precision instrument.
Apparently, this last one's we make the creature up.
It's actually reminiscent of building a fire and campsite in the brilliant Man vs. Wild game on the PS3.
This is better.
Except this is much better.
Zebra!
You don't get to build a zebra. So
Oh my god.
you do get to cut open a dead camel in a sandstorm now.
This is better.
Yes. After you put the zebra together, you gotta ride on it and catch a train with it.
Shut up. By the way, that's the end of the Man vs. Wild game. And it sucks. Okay.
Now we're playing the Microsoft's Connect E3 conference.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's about right.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Last page here? No, there's one more page thingy where you actually... I was just checking the last page.
Oh. Count the stars?
Guess so. What is Simba doing? There's 4 stars, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I
There
select
it
it.
goes.
I got you.
Really worried about what Simba's doing there.
Oh, it's not. Like, I didn't see that one at the bottom. Oh my god. No. Okay, we're done with that. Okay. Next game? What the hell?
Find the stuff. It's saying there's one of each of those bugs in there. Real hard to find.
What was this?
Apparently gets...
And then he rips ass.
Yeah.
Okay. And then last but not least, we have one more minigame.
What? Like, form a dominoes?
No, it's something really not complicated. We're just overthinking it. I don't know. Okay, it's nothing. Nothing works. Like, what the hell? Like, this is... thing, like, shouldn't it... I don't know. I really don't.
I don't get it.
I don't know what it wants. Unless this can move. No.
I mean, if you could somehow, like, rotate them or something.
No. Fuck it. And then you can draw!
And Jess just spent all that money on that awesome drawing pad when all she had to do was wait a little bit for this.
There's actually a big thing with all these different colors, different types of, paint. Change, get rid of it. Race. The animation. I can only put like 5 on screen at once. I like this one over here.
Yeah.
Clawing up his butt. Anyway, so that is as my monitor turns off. Anyway, so that is Lion King, The Adventures at Pride Rock. So this is the one you chose?
Yeah.
I don't want to do math antics with 101 Dalmatians.
Okay, fine. We'll do, where is it? No. The other one that was supposed to come.
Okay, we'll do the other one that was supposed to come here. I'm only gonna play this one for a little. I don't know if I'm gonna do every game in this. This is Richard Scarry's Huckle and Lolly's Busiest Day Ever. No. I doubt that any of them really have a story.
Everyone in Busy Town is busy doing their jobs.
Fire station.
Oh, Mr. Wait, what the hell is his name?
Sergeant Murphy.
Please help me get back to Main Street. Oh dear.
Just run that mouse over.
Yes.
Everyone in Busy Town is busy doing their jobs.
Cafe. Cafe. Fire station.
Hello, I'm Mayor Fox.
Can you help the fireman put out the
Wow!
That building just burst into flames. Interesting.
Apparently in Busy Town, Golding's kids spontaneously combust.
What's this, effing Oregon Trail? Okay, so that's the first page. Next one, we're in the cafe, or in the bakery.
The bakery smells so
Smells like poo.
good.
Please decorate the cookies.
Hulk Hogan.
The hell is this? Okay, that's just perfect.
Good work. The bakery smells so good.
Full of mice in the oven.
I like how the sound effects are louder than freaking sin.
Yeah, really.
The other game is quiet.
Find pairs of goodies that match. Eyes,
Eyes.
eclairs,
Eclairs.
You dead man.
cupcakes, donuts,
Donuts.
cakes, cookies.
You dead man. Lemmings.
Good work.
Apparently lemons are coming out to kill themselves.
Yeah.
Where's the self-explode button? Where's the self-exploding button?
The bakery smells so
I already turned the
good.
page.
Painter Painter Pig paints everything bright colors.
Oh god. Where's now blue?
Can you match the bug's color of paint? Yellow.
Good work!
Green.
You need to add another color. Good work!
Red.
This is thrilling.
What happens when you get one wrong?
They chug the paint and die.
Good work!
Purple.
Hey, green.
I'm making green. They don't need green, they need purple! I clicked it already, you stupid mouse! What do you need purple for?
Good work!
Oh wow, really? All that purple for that?
Orange.
Orange.
Purple again.
You know it's just gonna be like,
Add another
you
color.
fail, and then redo it. If it was something cool, I'd do it.
Good work!
It's not orange, it's brown.
Blue.
Really? I think we've already exhausted every color we can do here.
Well, we haven't mixed all three together yet.
It's brown. That's what we should have done for that tree.
Good
Sky.
work!
Oh no, I thought the sky was gonna be painted.
Looks great.
It could be better.
Well, the sky was painted a color that we could
Painter Pig paints everything bright colors.
paint the trash.
Everyone enjoys playing in the park.
Sally.
I'm gonna go careening into that
Ow.
tree.
Bananas gorilla. Hilda. 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 Lowly.
Swimming.
Really?
Let's play hide and seek with our friends.
There's a self-explode button.
The mouse go. See the worm, I see the monkey, the... Where the hell did the stupid mouse go?
Look behind the ball.
There you are.
Oh, okay.
Found her.
And then it's telling me to find... Oh, it's the girl.
There
I was trying to
you are.
find him.
I found you.
You found me. Good for you.
I found. There you are.
Everyone dies.
Yeah.
Everyone enjoys
And then the last
playing
one,
in
just
the
like
park.
in the other game, the last page is...
Love to draw.
Drawing.
Don't you?
I can't draw. If I can put this TV for here. Or not. Can't do that.
Found the worm.
There's not even a picture of her in the thing. Bait him on a hook. Can't draw. I can't draw anyway, and then try to draw on the Sega Pico. That's gonna work well. That should be a marathon task. Someone has to draw something really elaborate on the Pico. have to brown? Okay, that's enough of that. So anyway, as a concept, it works pretty well. I'm actually happy with the way it works. So I can see why it would have done well elsewhere. I guess it just probably didn't get marketed very well in America, because you never really heard about it. I mean, maybe there's a commercial somewhere. I would have to look it up. Like, I don't remember seeing it as a kid. And I definitely knew no one who owned it. Like, you know, even friends of mine that had younger brothers and sisters, they never had this. So, anyway, does it actually turn on without a game in it? Okay, it does. It just goes to the black screen now. Put this back in.
Yeah, there's no room in the box.
Oh yeah, because it's our second copy of Lion King Adventures at Pride Rock. So if you need a copy of the Lion King Adventures at Pride Rock for the Sega Pico, please contact me. We have an extra copy. Actually, if you do have other Sega Pico games, if there is someone out there who's going to see this, which I doubt, there's all those other ones I need, so I could always trade that one for one of the other ones, one of the other crappy ones. So, anyway, guys, thank you for watching this. I know it wasn't too much of a real big bonus video, but I wanted to at least do something for you guys. And coming up next will be a new play it through. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde should be up very soon.